She and her family moved to Ada. She graduated from Forest Hills Central in 2003. She was a member of the St. Robert's Youth Group and attended Aquinas College as well as Ferris U. Is that she was involved in not one, not two, but 13 auto accidents. Now, it is said that her father had the local auto shop on speed dial on the phone. You don't have to do a lot of research with the auto carriers of America to know that she would be considered a poor risk. She worked for URS Engineering as well as Applause Catering. She had a number of different career interests, but one day I asked Michelle, hey Michelle, she was in college, I said, what is it that you want to do with your life? And without skipping a beat, she started to tell me that what she wanted to do was to lead and run a shoelace factory. I thought, that seems kind of odd. I've never heard that response from a young person before. And she started to tell me about how shoelaces in general have largely gone through this very stagnant period of development over the last 20 or 40 years. They don't capitalize on all the different marketing strategies with different sizes, different lengths, different widths, different colors, different color combinations, braidings of different shoelaces. She had all these ideas just flowing out of her head and how she wanted to do this and make the world a better place through her shoelace factory. And meanwhile, while she's telling me this, Mike is in the other room just laughing, breaking up, and I'm thinking, what's going on here? Well, she was putting me on. This was her standard reply to anybody who asked her the audacious question of, what is it that you want to do with your life? And she really didn't know. But she had some ideas. Michelle had a favorite word. Her favorite word was seriously, as in, I've been in 13 auto accidents, seriously. She had a boyfriend of 7 years. There was a engagement planned in August. She had a favorite color. That color was pink, hence everybody wearing pink. She had a nickname. Her nickname was Shell Bell. And she was focused at this stage in her life on working to earn enough money so that she could move out of the house and get an apartment. By all accounts, a typical 22-year-old. Typical dreams, typical hopes and aspirations. And everything was pretty normal for Michelle up until that one point in time where, over the course of a couple of weeks, she became more and more tired, and one day became very dizzy, and her brother Matthew drove her to the doctor, where blood tests revealed a 3.9 level hemoglobin. I'm told that transfusions happen at a 7 level of hemoglobin, and that her physician said it was amazing that she was even walking at that point. The diagnosis came in, leukemia ALL, but she remained positive. Despite this, despite the setback that had befell her, she recognized that, well, she had a 3-year struggle ahead of her. She was going to work through this. She was going to survive this. She had a couple of different friends who had survived this, a friend at college, as well as Lindsay. She recognized there was a great deal of hope. She also recognized that she was going to have to live at home. She was going to have to probably take online classes. She would very likely not be able to pursue so many of the things that she had planned, at least for the next 3 years. But she remained optimistic because she recognized that while she was going through all these treatments, gosh, this is a very painful ordeal. This is a difficult thing to deal with. And she just couldn't imagine what it was like for children younger than her to have to deal with this. Little children that didn't understand. And she speculated that maybe what she could do someday would be to help others with this disease. She thought that it might be possible for her to be an advocate of some kind. She also speculated to her mother one day, and this was much to her mother's horror, that she said, "You know, Mom, I think maybe I'm at a good age for cancer." And that was kind of tough to hear, but she went on to explain. She said, "I'm young, my organs are healthy. This is a good time for me to have cancer. I don't have children right now. I'm not in the middle of a career." For all these reasons, she remained very optimistic. And so the treatments progressed. And we get these updates on the family website. And I log in every day to see what's going on with Michelle, see how she's doing. And generally we got pretty good news. But then the news started to get poorer and poorer. Infection had set in. And just before Michelle died, 2 days before, she was placed into a medically induced coma. Moments before that happened, as she's laying in bed with her parents and brother, she noticed how tired her father looked. She scratched out a note. This is something that Michelle would do all the time. She'd write notes. She got all the well wishes coming to her in the hospital. She'd take the time to write people notes. Some of these notes even arrived a day or two after she had died to different people in the family or friends. But she writes a note to her father, still maintaining her humor. She writes, she sees how tired he is, she writes, "Try Red Bull, Dad. It'll give you wings. Seriously." Well, the very sad call came in, and I went home and I opened up the website because I knew for all the emails and all the web postings that had been placed there that there was going to be something written there. I want to read to you what I read that day. July 21st at 2:08 p.m. Michelle lost her battle with leukemia illness. She put up a good fight, but could not overcome all the complications, which included multiple infections, sepsis, and ARDS. Her heart stopped and she was freed of all her pain and suffering very quickly. Mike, Sue, brother Matt, and the love of her life, Mitch, were in the room when she passed away. It was a very special, peaceful time, and we know she is in a better place now. Very shortly before she left us, Mitch and I, while in her room, noticed a large yellow butterfly flying around outside her window of the hospital. A rather odd place for one to be up on the 5th floor of a brick building. I told Mitch it was an angel watching over her, but we now know it was an angel coming to take her to a higher place. I read that email and sat back in my chair with all the usual emotions that you can expect. And the one that came over me most was the thought that that's not fair. There's no apartment, no engagement, no wedding, no career, no kids, no grandkids, all inside of 38 days. I'm not going to pretend that something wonderful comes out of such an event as this, but something did happen. The picture over here to the right with a group of 70 plus people wearing pink raised $13,000 in 6 weeks for the Light the Night Foundation. And I think it's special that you're all here today because just as Michelle wanted to be an advocate for children, wanted to help others, she can't do that now, but you're all here to do that now. And if she were here, you'd all be receiving a very personable note from her. I guarantee you that. It's the kind of person she was. As you drive down M21 east towards Ada, the next time you do that, look to the left, you'll see a small cemetery. And that's where the dream of the shoelace factory has died. But the hope of helping others, that's still very much alive. Very much alive. Seriously. Thank you very much.